Still not okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So thank you, Vijay, for giving us this. Jackie Awadia has joined. He's our friend from Israel. So let me ask you. First of all, I request our friend and I'll introduce Mr. Navneet Kumar, who is an Indian Revenue Services officer. I can see him just a minute, and he will have some questions because of economical part. Okay, Navneet is here. He's a young man who is a friend and also a IRS. And you know, Jack, we have a administrative services in India, which is IAS, Indian Administrative Services, and India Revenue Services is IRS. And they are actually supporting the government in the best of their way to control and strategize the revenue system. So Mr. Navneet Kumar has joined us, and he's free to talk or he's free to ask some questions to the people who are there. And we have friend Dr. Jackie Ovedia, Mr. Jackie Ovedia from Israel, who just joined, so he will have some questions. We have 20 minutes left for the Zoom to finish off. Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Navneet.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vivek. Am I audible now?
Yeah, perfectly loud and clear.
Yeah, I want to ask one question that these days, the corona is spreading from bigger cities to the smaller cities. So what is the way ahead? How do we tackle it right now? Because the situation at present is more grave than it was earlier 2 months back. So in your perspective, how do you deal with it, and what do you suggest as in being a doctor?
I think I will answer briefly, and then I request my friend Ashokan from Calicut, Kerala to also contribute to this. Jack, I'm trying to answer because asking question regarding to Indian and also America is also growing. I was reading in the newspaper in the morning, and we all know that there is second wave now. Second wave is coming up in Europe. The reason why the things are still not settling down from my side, from my perspective, is basically that this virus is highly contagious, number one. And secondly, our country is not that I would say fully educated people. I got a call from one of the ministers, without naming him, that whether the lockdown is correct or not. They wanted to take my view, and this is end of June. So at that time, the Indian system has started unlock down at the first week of June, and he was trying to take my views as a doctor, whether it is correct or we can continue to lock down. So there are economical aspects. At that time, I said it is a little premature, but lockdown cannot continue forever. I mean, the proper way to actually prevent, which we are using, is that everybody on the road, inside the hospital, outside the hospital, in the mask, it should be a chalanable, a mandatory to cover the face, including the nose. What is happening is that many times people are still now living with this. I was talking to a Nigerian friend. He said they don't take it seriously at all. So the way I think you are one of them, I would request the government to make it a mandatory system. Anybody caught on the road or in the mall or anywhere which is opened up should be challaned heavily, about 1,000 rupees or whatever amount, and this should be strictly followed. If it is done by police strictly and they really do a challan, this will be a message to the public that covering the mask is the only way. Otherwise, SMS, we know, sanitization, social distancing, and other things which are already there. And then one point which I will still say, that again, Ashokan, I was reading, I know that India, in Uttar Pradesh, ivermectin, they have now using as a prophylaxis. I would say that continue hydroxychloroquine prophylaxis for everybody, not only for healthcare workers. ICMR is now, after giving the last notification that all the healthcare workers should be, or the attendants of the COVID should be given hydroxychloroquine. I say that everybody now, it is like a pandemic with a community transmission. So why not everybody 400 milligram once a week hydroxychloroquine, that may help. And ivermectin is now being used as a prophylaxis. So I think, Navneet, my thing is that covering the face and the mask is the best way. Isolate the people. Ashokan, would you like to add something? Or?
What is the reason for? Why is it spreading to smaller cities these days?
No, Ashokan, please.
So I think as Professor Vivek mentioned, is a very highly contagious infection. Now we have a significant number of persons who are asymptomatic. There's no symptoms. We know that once a person becomes symptomatic, has symptoms, then they go to the hospital. Now what we are seeing is some of the hospitals, we are not doing this strict what you call that antigen or antibody test for the healthcare workers. I think we should implement that, and we should give immunity passport and low risk certificate to all the persons working in the hospital first. Otherwise, what is going to happen is hospital is going to become the epicenter for this infection, because we can see a lot of asymptomatic healthcare workers in the hospitals, and we see a lot of persons. I think that's one thing. Second one is we should identify asymptomatic person in the community, especially the persons working next to the close relatives of the patient. We should do this test. We should increase the number of testings in India, both antigen and antibody. We are doing only antigen test in some places, and some places they are doing antibody also. I think we should do both the tests for the time being, and this is the only way we can prevent this infection. And the committee HCQ is already mentioned that high risk persons, I think we should do HCQ, but we should have more studies, many studies, a large number of studies published from India. The benefit, I think, as Professor mentioned, I think till the time we should recommendation. I think it's more number of tests, and we should and one thing is we should track all symptomatic patients, those who are positive to the COVID, and they identify and isolate this group. These are the three ways you can do: tracking, more number of tests.
Okay, would you want can Jack? Jack, the question was that how to prevent a spread. I mean, it's a huge spread, and Navneet Kumar has asked, Navneet Agarwal has asked, it is now going to smaller cities. So Dr. Ashokan has said that we should do both antigen and antibody testing. What is your say on that?
Agreed. We need both antigen and antibody testing. We need antigen testing for people who may have been contact, or who are at risk because someone in their family has it, or for various reasons. But we need antibody testing to try to understand what the spread is in the community. It's easy to do. It's much cheaper, and if we could be testing a certain percentage of people in the community, we will know how many people have contacted the virus. Because the antibody test can also contain an antigen test. It isn't as sensitive a test or as the PCR, but you can actually detect somebody who's in the semi-acute phase. If they're but 1 week from having been infected, they'll have IgG showing up, as well as IgM showing up, as well as IgG when they have, after 2 to 3 weeks, when they've developed antibodies. So antibody tests are very valuable for public health purposes, and for helping people understand they've already been infected and they don't have to be, they don't need to be retested with PCR. But we need both. And we need, as I mentioned earlier, we need a much better version of the antigen test than PCR. The wait time is too long and the delay is too long. But antibody tests are needed. The other things we need to do are the public health measures that we've talked about here. Those must continue to be applied, including travel restrictions.
Okay, I think you are perfectly all right. Do you have this rapid antigen testing in US, or we don't have it?
We do have it in some parts of the US. In the state of New York, we do about 70,000 antibody tests a day.
I'm not talking antibody test. I'm talking of rapid antigen test. Are you
rapid antigen test? The only places that are doing rapid antigen test, there's an Abbott test that produces results in 15 minutes, which is what's being used in the White House and government agencies. But the machine is expensive. It's hard to reproduce. You cannot make that available for everybody that needs a test. So we need new versions of tests. That's why I bring up the idea of a CRISPR test, which can be done with a mouth swab, and you can have results in 5 minutes. These tests are already available, but only in the research place. We haven't mass produced them yet. But someday soon, we're going to have rapid antigen tests, 5-minute results, very, very cheap. So we put money into that like we put money into vaccines, because the testing part
how much sensitivity
with us for years.
This will be having a sensitivity of 90%, 95%?
Yes.
I think
95%. 95% sensitive, is possible with antibody tests and also with rapid antigen tests. But thus far, we're not manufacturing them and we're not making them available to people.
I think, Ashokan, I think they're not aware of the rapid antigen testing which we are doing as a kit, which is giving results in 30 minutes. So we are not sure about that.
Only problems in Delhi, I think they're done. I found that this lot of false negative. But at least you picked up, I think, 50% of patients. 50% will miss.
So I think we have only 6 minutes now left. So we have to wrap up with some messages coming from other people. Anybody else would like to speak? Anshu, would you like to give 1 minute message before we wrap up? You have come back? Want to say something, Anshu?
Sure, 1 second.
Yeah.
I think, my message, the closing message would be that, we need to understand that this pandemic as a business and economy is an opportunity. There's a lot of, I think, stress, day-to-day stress that businesses of all sizes are going through. There were businesses who couldn't even survive day-to-day basis, and now there is such a big challenge to take care of. But if we understand how, businesses should be operated, we can actually become billionaires out of, what is happening during this year.
You have to help me to become billionaire at least, if not somebody else.
Let's do that.
Okay. I have a few questions with Jack actually regarding the pandemic, and you see, we are giving. I'm talking of preventive part. What we can best do to prevent it. You said you don't use hydroxychloroquine as a prevention. You are not using ivermectin as a prevention. America is only doing sanitization and of course mask, which is also not there. Now people are not covering the face. I mean, in India, we are using a lot of naturopathy products like ashwagandha, which is immune booster. I am personally taking Chyawanprash, Ashokan. I'm taking one spoon morning and in the evening, because if your immunity is high, you will, even if you catch infection, it will not go to severe stage. Of course, sanitization, anything. But we are not using zinc. Zinc is only antiviral. We are using only in the patients who are infected. But of course, we are taking some multivitamin. As a last part of your talk, what will you recommend to the Indian? Because you are a physician, you are a cardiologist, you are an intensivist. Other than that, what else we can use? Oh, sorry, you're muted. Let me see.
Who are you asking?
Yeah, okay. I'm asking Jack.
Well, I think there may be some other agents that we can learn about. I'd like to learn whether people are benefiting from natural medicines and herbal medicines in India. There are several that have been mentioned that people are considering, and we also need to learn, with some real data about the hydroxychloroquine, because it's not being used as a prevention measure here in the U.S. or mostly in Europe. So if in fact we can measure the success of that, there is a study in Minneapolis that is looking at hydroxychloroquine as a prevention, but it probably should be tested in a high risk area. So we need to know more about that. For now, I think keeping your immunity up, staying healthy. I mean, these are the basic things we can do, and we need to protect people. Excuse me, people who have high risk need to be protected.
Ashokar, would you? Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
One interesting things what is coming up is the long-term effect of this virus. One is in the cardiac side, second one is on the lung, and that's really worrying us. So, what is the alveolar dysfunction? Whether it's producing more LV dysfunction. And that is a reversible LV dysfunction because it's already 6 months over. And the second one is irreversible damage on the lung. That's already you mentioned. I think these are the two important things coming up. So we have to see what percentage asymptomatic people will develop this type of things. That's why importance of IgG in the community study, antibody study. So we know that in long term, two things. One is which person should get a vaccination. Second one is immediate, suppose available after say 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. Second one is which person will develop this type of organ damage. So IgG with whether it will produce the LV who are positive, and those who are positive whether they develop pulmonary complications like say fibrosis. These are two concerns now. I think this.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. So patients who are completely cured or not finished,
or asymptomatic,
we should continue to do antibody testing every month. Jack, would you think like that? Every month
I
we should
agree.
do antibody testing?
I think every month to see, if you do antibody testing every month, and even in particular in a high-risk workplace like a hospital, you will know how many people you missed who came in asymptomatically infected and you didn't know. And then you can do contact tracing to find out what happened. But you should do antibody testing periodically. Some of the antibody tests have both antigen and antibody, that is IgM and IgG bands on them. And those are desirable because even though they will miss people who are under 1 week from infection, they won't catch the antigen until a week after the person is infected. But they will catch it. But they definitely will tell you who has been infected in the past. So I think once a month antibody testing in any kind of high-risk workplace is very important. And for public health purposes in communities to know how fast the infection is spreading.
Okay, thank you so much. We have only 20 seconds left, so I have to say thanks to everybody. Once again, thank you, Dr. Jack Levin, coming from at 7 a.m. Do you have time to show the New York, or you have no time? I mean,
we can do it, but I have to tell you, today New York is not so pretty. It's a terrible rainy day.